City of Troy Board of Park Commissioners meeting for Tuesday, March 3rd. Abby, please call the roll.
Mr. Emmerich,
Here.
Mr. Harrelson,
Here.
Mrs. Anderson.
Here.
All members are present.
Awesome. First item on the agenda is the approval of minutes from our January 21st, 2026 Joint Park Board Commissioners and Recreation meeting. We have those minutes. Are there any additions, subtractions, or deletions to those minutes?
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion to approve?
I'll motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. Next item on the agenda is the approval from our February 9th Board of Park Commissioners meetings. Is there any additions, subtractions, or deletions to those minutes? Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Minutes approved. Next, we'll move on to our reports. Good afternoon, Mr. Drake. Let's start with you.
Good afternoon.
Anything
Only thing I have to update you on is the bid specs for both Community Park as well as Duke Park were approved for bid by council Monday night. So I've been working with Mrs. Knight to finalize those, and we will be going to advertise for bid both of those projects. Along with that, Duke Park, we tentatively had installation of the playground equipment at Duke to begin Monday, next Monday, but with the weather that we're getting this week, I kind of doubt that's going to happen. But as weather allows, that playground will start to be installed over the next couple weeks, and then that should time out fairly well with the bid closing for the turf at Duke Park, and then that can start, and we'll get that project wrapped up. So that's in the works. That's really all I have.
Just because we're starting to, I saw the Reds sent out a thing where they have a Cincinnati Reds package now. We're starting that baseball season. It's on my mind here. We're making some improvements to Archer.
Yeah, so that was one of the things we had put in the 2026 budget, was to improve the infields on both baseball fields at Archer so that we have improved drainage and more playability on those two fields. If you recall, the Troy Junior Trojans had received the grant, and we did all the work on the player bench areas, the dugouts, the fencing, and all that, but we never remediated the infields. So that work is going to happen hopefully this spring. If we get too far into the season, we will delay that if we need to like an early fall project. But those are on the docket to be done.
Okay.
Sooner hopefully than later.
Any other comments or questions for Mr. Drake?
No.
Thank you. Let's move on to Mr. Seiler. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Anything to add to your report?
I just wanted to let the board know we currently have the RFP out for the Parks and Recreation beverage agreement. So those are due March 20th. So at your next meeting, we'll come back with a recommendation related to that, and then we'll also do that for the Recreation Board as well. So we should have those for you for next month.
Okay. Anything else for Mr. Seiler?
Nope.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Seiler. Moving on to Mr. Greaser. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Nothing really to add to my report either, but we are meeting with Joel, just irrigation quick project update. We are meeting with Joel, the gentleman we're working with there through the irrigation project this week, to finalize some of the details and work on a couple other things that we're working through with that. So that's moving forward. I did put in there my outline of a player assistant program that I want to try to start out at the golf course, just for your review so you're aware of what we're looking at and looking to do. And then the Simulator League is wrapping up this week. We started, actually, as I shared before the meeting, we did have a few rounds outside. So with the weather breaking, we'll move from the simulators to outside.
Good. And looks like there's some maintenance going on the course. You removed 26 trees that were dead or dying. Is that correct?
That is correct, yep.
All right. Any questions for Mr. Greaser? I did attend the board meeting for Miami Shores Golf Course on, that was Wednesday? Thursday last week? Last Wednesday. And for those of you who are not able to attend, it is listed as far as the minutes and the agenda. Can you kind of share that, what you've done there and how those are available?
So we went ahead or put the minutes and the agenda and the schedule on our Miami Shores Golf Course website. It's in that first bullet. I forget exactly what it's called, but it's in that first bullet. There's a little drop down. You can go straight to there and see. This is just current. I don't have any previous minutes or agendas to add to that, but moving forward, we'll keep that updated so the public can go there and take a look at what's going on with the advisory board.
No, there's a schedule outlined, and it's open to the public for
It is.
anybody to attend.
Yep.
So, great.
Yep.
Thank you for that.
sir.
Nothing from the Planning Commission to report. I'll move on to new business. The first item we have is the approval of our Parks and Rec Master Plan. Is there someone in the audience to speak about that? Is that Austin, I think?
Hello. Yeah, so the only changes we've made edits to the last version. We fixed some grammar typos, but no real big substantive changes. So we are hoping for your approval. The rec board did approve it at their last meeting, so here we are today.
And I know we've had this in front of us for a couple meetings now. Are there any questions or anything to add? I know we've kind of been an ongoing conversation regarding the master plan.
I don't have any questions. I just wanted to thank everyone when city staff and with American Structure Point and Legacy Sports Group for all of their work on this, and then all of the volunteers on the steering committee and all the various stakeholder groups that participated in some way, shape, or form. This is sorely needed for the park system and the rec board, as well as it overlaps with a lot of the both park and rec kind of Venn diagram of job duties and responsibilities. And I think this is going to be a great catalyst for some significant improvements over a generation or two for the park system in this town. And it's a great game plan for this board to use when we are faced with making decisions in the future on, obviously there's big projects like the Duke Park part of it, which is a huge undertaking that we believe is needed, but there's also a lot of data that we can use on a year-to-year basis over what type of maintenance projects for different smaller parks and what we should do with the vacant land and the smaller pocket parks over time. And when we plan expansions, or when expansions of neighborhoods through the city's development plan come through, we have a better idea of what that data looks like as to how we approach it as a park board.
Yeah. Well said. Mona, anything from you? Anything? All right.
Thank you.
Hearing none, I'll make a motion to approve the Parks and Rec Master Plan. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, master plan approved. Thank you very much, Austin. Moving on, we have before us to provide a recommendation for City Council for the May 8th Troy Truck Yard event at Hurlinger Park. And the event will include the sale of alcohol and consumption of alcoholic beverages, and that is beer only. Is there someone to speak about that?
Yes, thank you. Since the adoption of the downtown riverfront study, it was recommended that we hold an event called the Troy Truck Yard event, and we move it each year to different locations in order to showcase different items, projects going on in the city. And with the 2025 improvements to Hurlinger Park and the proposed 2026 improvements to Hurlinger Park, we thought it was a great location to hold it there. So it's a concert. It's free to the public. We will have alcohol. We would be applying for a temporary liquor license for that event. But again, free open to the public. There's food trucks, things of that nature in the park, and we're asking for a recommendation to council to hold this event.
Awesome. And last year, this was kind of, is that where it was?
That's
last
correct.
year?
Yep.
Okay.
Mhm.
So, if you've not had a chance to attend this in the past, it's great. Our kids enjoy it every year, getting an opportunity to kind of run around and partake. So, any questions from the park board about this?
No.
All right. I'll make a recommendation to Troy City Council for the approval of the 2026 Troy Truck Yard event to be held at Hurlinger Park on May 8th, with the event to include the sale and consumption of alcoholic beverages, beer only. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Recommendation approved. Thank you. Next item on the agenda is the, some additional events at Community Park for the National Night Out. Is there someone here to speak about these?
Thank you. National Night Out in most recent years has been in neighborhoods. Prior to that, it was a major event in Troy Community Park. The school resource officers have suggested that we try again having a National Night Out in the park. That was not on your list of events that you approved. So we're asking that that you would approve adding it to the event list for August 4th for the park.
Okay.
It'll be in the evening, probably around 5 to 8:30, probably no later than 9. There'll be some set up earlier. It's going to involve activities for children, food, water, things like that. Police and fire presence, Identikid, that type of activity for those of you who've attended in the past. It'll be very similar.
Awesome.
Most everything will be free.
Okay. Any questions for Mrs. Knight? I'll make a motion to approve the addition of the National Night Out and use of Troy Community Park for August 4th, 2026. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved addition. Thank you. The next item on the list is the recommendation to Troy City Council regarding the lease of Barn in the Park, the Barn in the Park building to the Community Improvement Corporation. Is there someone to speak about that?
We didn't really choreograph it. So the, I guess it's the 5-year contract with Barn in the Park, although it's been more than 5 years because we've had annual extensions, I think up to 3 of them. And but the final extension has expired. We don't technically have a contract. They're not asking for any changes to the current contract, nor are we. But moving forward, we had talked to the city law director and felt comfortable that if we move it, transfer the property over to the CIC, that provides us future flexibility when we want to renegotiate the contract, when we want to do any improvements to the building. Makes it a lot more flexible for bidding and contracting for any kind of repairs that we might need to do, because the CIC gives us that ability to not have to go out to public bid and have the Barn in the Park folks have to compete with, I don't know who, but technically somebody could come out of the woodwork, I guess. We have no desire to change our relationship with the Barn in the Park. It's a long-standing community asset, and this just gives us a little bit more convenience and speed with which to do future negotiations. With the CIC, that doesn't give CIC necessarily carte blanche. If there's any changes, those conditions can be added to any contract. We're recommending that there not be any changes to the existing language in the contract to enable us to do a renewal without the long, drawn-out bid process.
So this is under the park board now, which actually I was not even aware that it was under the park board for the most part. So because they do all their own scheduling, I know we get involved in certain maintenance upgrades, but
yeah, it's park board property is what
Yeah.
it is. The building is.
okay.
Or that would stay the same, correct, the way I understand it?
The property would transfer over to the ownership of the CIC, but be under the conditions that the park board would still have control. We've done that in other cases with some of our property. It just makes it easier. The CIC operates on our behalf. It just again gives us some legal flexibility.
And did you misspeak in saying ownership would transfer to the CIC?
I believe that we would we, or just the lease?
Just the lease.
Excuse me. No, you're right.
Are there any immediate maintenance needs for the barn ahead of this upcoming
We have,
season?
we have several that are in the 2026 budget.
Yeah, so roofing replacement, some trim work is going to happen here shortly that was already in our 2026 budget. So, we've been staying up on all the building maintenance needs there as they've come up. So some of that's already in the works, and we'll continue to do that.
So is any of that conditioned upon us getting this accomplished, or are we going to do it anyway?
That was
No,
already,
we're doing it anyway.
Okay.
Because you're right, you're keeping ownership of the building, so it's
Right.
still our responsibility, the exterior maintenance and improvements.
I don't have any reason to make it seem like I'm not ultimately in favor of this structure. It's just, now that I've heard some of the feedback on it, the comments, I personally would like to reread this and kind of think about it, make sure there's nothing in here that we feel as a park commission we may want to include because of the structure of it going to CIC, so the CIC can lease it then, because they would lease it to Barn in the Park, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, they would be the leaseholder.
Well,
But since you would,
it's a sub, it's their,
it's just, yeah, it's
yeah,
just basically,
sub-tenancy.
Sure.
Yeah, okay. So as long as what I'm hearing is us taking this under advisement till the next meeting isn't going to stop a project for roofing repairs or anything, I just want to look at this again before we would pass it. That's my
And
personal.
I don't know when the next performances are, do we know? Okay, so they're already operating under the expired contract, so no harm, no foul.
Correct.
Okay. So we'll just hold off from taking action on this, put on the agenda for next time, next meeting. Okay. Any other questions on that? Give us a chance. Okay. Next item is the discussion of adding the North Market Street baseball scoreboard. Mr. Drake.
Yeah, so I was approached last week by the Baseball Parents Association, and they've recognized that they are still somewhat short on funds to pay for the remainder of the current improvements that are underway at North Market, that being the backstop, the concrete block wall, and the new netting that's gone in. So they're just looking for additional ways that they can fundraise and possibly help offset the cost of what they already have going, as well as continued future improvements to the field. So we sent back in an email to them explaining our current sponsorship program and how that works and how the funds have to come through the city. But they're welcome to go out and solicit for additional sponsorships as they want to, and they can even earmark specifics for where that money may go should they receive some of those additional sponsorships. One of the things they've asked is if an additional ad panel, just like the one that's there now, and I think you've got a picture of it in front of you there, that is approximately 20 inches tall by 20 feet wide. And so they're asking for another one of those to be placed directly underneath of the one that's already there. And then per our sponsorship program, they could sell those sponsorships in 1/4 of the panel, half panel, or full panel, with the sponsorship dollars coinciding with those panel sizes. So that's the request, or the ask, is that one additional panel would be installed, and then they could go out and seek those additional sponsorships. And that would be in addition to any other fundraising that they already do. I don't think they're intending to stop the mulch sale and some of the other stuff that they're already doing kind of on their own.
Are there questions from the park board here for Mr. Drake? I have a couple questions. So they want to just basically put another panel here. They don't want to move the sign over to the left and put one over. We're talking about adding it just below.
One
right?
directly below it. Yep,
Okay.
just like that. And it does not affect the scoreboard at all. Those clamp or bolt directly to the support posts.
Okay.
So, doesn't change anything structurally with the scoreboard at all anyway.
Okay, and then it's kind of hard to tell with the colors, and I've been over to North Market Street and seen this before. the colors, as far as how that fits in, does it have to, and our sponsorship level, I haven't went back through it, but is that gonna match, I guess, the aesthetics of what we're looking at here, or,
So
Does that
the
start to
ad
change?
panel that they're asking for would be the white background panel, that's there, that Superior is now on. So
Okay.
we're asking for a blank white panel
with,
additional, and then whatever sponsorships they
Sponsorships, the
may
logo.
get, or the city may get, would just go on that, white panel, the additional.
any comments on that? Any thoughts or comments on, if they come back and ask for a third or fourth panel, and we now have 50 panels out there?
I think if I could,
Yeah.
one thing to consider there too is, if you notice the fence height, I think probably at most they're gonna have room for one more panel, and then beyond that, the sight distance or sight line to any additional panels below, is gonna be impeded by the outfield, fence anyway. So
Okay.
I think at most there's room for this one additional panel at the bottom, and then pretty much out of space on the scoreboard.
Okay.
Do they do the banners, that put on the fence?
No, we've, per the sign ordinance, they're not able to do that. Anyway, any kind of temporary signage isn't allowed.
We're looking at changes to the sign ordinances and things, I'm assuming, based upon the changes to the zoning code. They're coming down the pike. Is that correct, Tim?
Yes, it's being reviewed by our legal counsel right now, so we'll get comments from him, and then a draft will be formed from that draft, and then that will be submitted to the planning commission and for review.
And what's the ballpark, pardon the pun, timeframe on when
I think,
that's hoping to be wrapped
I
up?
think Mr. Kerber mentioned 2 months for his review time.
The only thing I'm thinking is a just cart before horse issue with what changes might be coming down the
Yeah.
pike on that versus what we might have as alternatives. I don't want to get locked into something.
Yeah. On these donations and the sign advertisements, is there, do we have a timeline on that, or is it in perpetuity is essentially the sign?
So the sign code does not have like major changes to that. So if you're waiting on this recommendation for that, I don't know if this request would be affected by the changes that are being proposed.
Okay.
Well, maybe we want to make some recommendations to changes that reflect this
Maybe.
type of thing. So the lack thereof may be a topic of conversation for this.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just a little bit.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, we went from having no signs in 100 years to now having 2 on the same scoreboard in the span of a year.
And I'm not opposed to it in theory. I just want to make sure that we have we're not doing one-off decision-making every time on these.
Sure, that makes sense. We have our, and I apologize, I don't have it in front of me, should have had it, that promotion documentation. Does that have any time limits on how long these advertisements last?
Yes.
And what is that?
It does, and I don't have that right off. I want to say it's 3 years.
I thought it was 3
36
years off
months,
the top of my head.
but don't quote me on that. I can check.
Okay. Does anybody in attendance remember that at all?
I believe 3 years.
Yeah. So essentially there is a time period on that.
Sure.
If we need to review. I know they're in the middle of fundraising. I know they're very close to that right now. I hate to hold them up, based off of some of this discussion that we're talking about, even though it's maybe 2 months or, 2 meetings. It's probably right in the time where they're fundraising right now actively, right? So,
Yeah, one thing to I could just add too is, per our sponsorship program, all funds that are generated through this program, through the additional signage, have to go back into real property, back into our property, so we
Yeah.
directly benefit. It's not to where Baseball Parents is gonna be able to advertise and then they pocket that money and have control over it.
sure, yeah.
Like I said, they can earmark that per our sponsorship program, but ultimately, our
It
property.
goes back into North Market Street, which is what we want, right? So, okay, any other questions? All right, I'm gonna make a motion to, approve adding the additional ad panel to North Market Street, baseball scoreboard. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 All in favor? Okay. Motion approved, or that recommendation is approved. Is that a recommendation? I'm sorry. What do I have here?
That was the approval of the additional ad panel.
Just the approval? Okay. Motion approved to add the additional ad panel to North Market Street baseball scoreboard. All right. Last item on the agenda, on the other section, is a discussion on Carriage Crossing Park sign with a section add to denote a donor. Did you want to
Yeah, so I can
walk us
touch
through
on
that?
that. So, yeah, so the park board in 2016 was actually approached and approved a sign to be placed at Carriage Crossing Park to commemorate or recognize the land donation that was done in 1996. That was decided on in a meeting in August of 2016, and then some way or another, nothing ever came of that, never happened. So they've reached back out, have asked for kind of where we were in that process, going back and forth. Taryn was able to actually find the minutes to that meeting and when that had been approved. We do have the rendering now of what that could look like. It matches the sign that's already there. The park sign would fit on the existing post right below that. And I think you've got the verbiage there that that the park is made possible through the generous land donation by Arca Abrasives Incorporated, March 4th, 1996. And so basically just would need, we've already got the approval by the board in 2016, would now just need approval or acceptance of the rendering the way it's been presented by this board, or to this board.
Any questions? On the board? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the sign rendering as provided for us. Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, rendering approved. Any items to come before the park board today? All right. Hearing none, I'll make a motion to adjourn. Is there a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned. Thanks.